Good afternoon, you guys. I'm here to give you a review of Kings of Napa. I'm excited to bring you this review. This episode was nothing less of exciting as always. August is to the point she's basically being put on the forefront, as I say. Basically, she still has a dilemma of paying back her aunt, but the dilemma that she really has now is learning that somebody else was stalking her dad for 15. I think it was like 1,500 a week. The guy calls her out of the blue, but August lets him know that she is not going to be bullied by him, and he lets her know that he is not going to back down. Dana's to the point where he realizes that he's basically lost his footing when it comes to being in the matriarch of the family. That makes sense. He basically goes on this thing where he basically is coming to terms with himself. He goes into a state where he actually has a dream about his wife, which is really really crazy. He's thinking, fantasizing that she's basically coming on to him while he's at the desk, which is really crazy because you can tell they really really are a sexual couple because she makes reference to him even at the staff meetings. But we're gonna move along with August. She's basically being pursued now by her aunt's actual attorney. They came to an agreement, and the agreement is that on the strength that she'll let Brianna back to come back and work, her aunt will let them pay when they can. As far as the loan is concerned, it won't be one of those things that they pay it all up front. They can pay it when they can. And basically, what she had to do was sign a paper, and the stipulation was she would have to let the daughter back, even though the mom was to the point, which is Aunt V as they call her, did not want the daughter back because, as you remember, the daughter is come to find out that she is not the cousin; she's actually the illegitimate child of her deceased husband. Now it's to the point where the mom is going on a little rant. She basically has a little meeting with the women of Napa. That's an organization that she actually funds, and most importantly, that she's matriarch over. They basically come over for a little visit, and she basically goes on this rant and basically tells them these words. She says, "Don't ever get caught up in a man." She said, "I could have been a news reporter. I could have been the most. I could have been that, but I decided that I wanted to be with a man that not only was not faithful, but he was with my own sister. And my sister decided that she wanted to ride his penis. And when she said that, everybody just clutched their pearls. And I was like, OMG. She basically was trying to vent and let everybody know what was going on in her marriage, but that wasn't the time to do it because those young ladies were there to have a meeting. They were not there to hear her vent about what her husband had done. And when she said that, I said, OMG. But it's one of those things where she just had to vent. It just was the wrong time, but it is what it is. The son walks in, which is Dana, and he hears her say that. He basically just gasps and looks at her. But it was too late to try to pull her out because she was already to the point where she had got in and said all of that. I knew something was up when she ran over there after he told her that they actually were there, and she went to the winery and picked up a glass of wine. But I did not know she was gonna spill the tea like that. But I guess she said, hey, she had to say what she had to say, and most important, she wanted to vent. August, just like I said, has been kind of let down a little bit as far as that loan is concerned with paying her aunt back. But the aunt is to the point where just like I said, August and Brianna are very very close because at first they thought they were cousins, but they still were very close. Brianna confided in August and let her know that she had found some love letters that well, my what's that their dad, because it's confirmed they are sisters now. That their dad wrote to Brianna's mom. You got to remember now, Brianna's mom is actually August's aunt. So they basically had an affair, and he did it behind Aunt V's back. Aunt V didn't know about it. She can't really take it. Now the dilemma is that Aunt V comes to actually paid a visit by the sister, and she basically tells her that she needs to let her daughter come back because she knows depression runs in the family. Aunt V's actual comeback on that was that she didn't care, and most importantly, like she said, my daughter is not like your daughter. She knows that she doesn't go against me, and most importantly, who cares? I don't care. I could care less what goes on. And after she said that, she slammed the door, and in the midst of her slamming the door, her sister was basically telling August that you got to remember what the stipulation was. And just like I said, the stipulation was that Brianna was to come back and get her job back. If you remember, Brianna was actually the one that harvested the grapes and did the most as far as the company is concerned. Now she was basically let go by Aunt V because Aunt V realized that her husband not only betrayed her, but he had an illegitimate child, and she could not take it. Hence the reason, like I told y'all, that she actually went ham at the actual meeting with the girls of Napa. I call them the women of Napa because that's the name of the actual organization. But those young ladies didn't come to get an earful; they came to get a speech like they normally get. But they got an earful that night, and baby, it was something to behold. But yeah, it's one of those things where August is still to the point she's still CEO, but now she has another other things on her back. She also learns that her dad had a secret account. She basically goes to the bank with Brianna in tow, but she decides she goes in and she realizes that her dad had been making $150,000 withdrawals every week. And she was asking herself, where was he getting that kind of money? And come to find out, like she said, the only thing she could think of is that he was probably making those payments to Brianna's mom. But they never found any clarity behind what he actually was doing. But it kind of makes sense why the man wanted those payments every week, because that's probably what he was getting the money out of the bank for to try to pay him off. But it still is not adding up why this particular person is trying to basically get money out of August. She never could come to terms and understand that part. But it's one of those things where, like the mom said, he was paying her at first, but now that everything was to the point it was coming full circle. She wanted payment up front. That's what she said at first. But like I told y'all, they came to an agreement. Now we're gonna go back to the attorney. He decides he want to shoot his shot at August and lets August know that he wants to take her out on a date. And she says two things wrong with that. First of all, you're married. And second of all, I don't know about that. He was like, well, to put everything into perspective, I'm really separated. And she was asking him why he didn't let nobody know. He was like, well, I ain't trying to put it on the front page news that I'm actually separated from my wife. But it is what it is. So eventually it was to the point they did not say whether or not they were going to date or anything like that. She didn't deny or say anything like that. I think secretly she was attracted to him, but she really found out when she found out he was actually married, she didn't want to speak on it. And you have to understand too, they did date in the past. So it's one of those things where she had tried to rekindle it, but the flame actually went out when she realized that he was a married man. And now she realized he's separated. She wanted to kind of dive in there, but she kind of scared because at the end of the day, like I said, they dated before. But like she said, she didn't know too much about whether or not she wanted to go backwards. She was the type of person, like she said, she liked to go forward. But there's no man in August's life, so I don't know whether or not this particular romance is gonna fizzle out or whether or not it's gonna be steamy. We gonna just have to stick around and see. Maybe he might shoot his shot long enough. She might just give him one date. But yeah, this episode is to the point. It's a lot of twists and turns in there. The thing that I like the most about it is the fact, like I told y'all, they realized that there's a lot of secrets in between there. Now they're trying to basically put the pieces of the puzzle together. Now the mom didn't want it to come out that the letters were actually out there. The daughter actually found them at her house. And so when they had the scene where Brianna spoke to her mom was very irate. Like she said, why did you even take those letters over there? Like she told her, me and August, we are very close. So I felt like I could confide in her and let her know that. But in the middle of them reading the letters, she was telling her, I cannot show my mom these. And that's when Aunt V broke in there and said, what letters? And then she said, let me see them. And so actually she didn't get her daughter a chance enough to do anything. She snatched the letter out of her hand and read them. And she read it verbatim, maybe like almost like a paragraph. And that's when it went to another scene. So basically she heard the fact that he was actually not only cheating, but she kind of heard it come off the paper. That makes sense. Reading it put it in a whole nother perspective that yeah, not only was he cheating, but he was writing her love letter. So they had a romance, if that makes sense. But she basically came to the point where she at first was in a little depression about it. But like I told y'all, when she actually vented at that actual meeting with the women of Napa and told them that her sister was basically riding her husband's penis, baby, everybody lost it. I was like, OMG. Not only did she tell it, but she basically just went off and just said how she really, really feel. Like, how people be saying, just tell us how you really feel. And when she said everybody just looked around and just everybody's mouth dropped. They didn't know what to say. Because at the end of the day, they thought they was gonna get a speech. Like I told y'all. They got a speech, but it wasn't the kind of speech they were looking for. And she basically gave them this advice. She said, don't ever get entangled in a man and lose yourself. And she said, a meeting is adjourned. When she said that, everybody just looked around, they didn't know which way to go. Data just shook his head because he didn't realize his mom was going to say that much. And most important, she was going to vent. He was running trying to stop her, but he didn't know that in the midst of him trying to run and stop her, that she was actually going to say all that in one mouthful. And by the time he got to it, she had already let it out. And I was like, in a way, I kind of feel good that she able to say it. It might be in the wrong time, but now she maybe can feel liberated to the point where she ain't gonna say can move on, but she can come to terms with it. Because not only did she realize her husband cheated, he had a little illegitimate child, and make it so bad, it's with her sister. So it is what it is. So the sisters are still at odds with each other. They're not even speaking. So it is what it is. But the icing on the cake is that the aunt of the dad, which is the dad's sister, she knew about it the whole time. But I don't think Aunt V has figured that part out yet. I don't think they had a close relationship anyway. But I'm thinking if she do find out that not only did they have a relationship, but somebody else knew and she didn't know, that's gonna really make her spiral out of control. I think eventually they might reveal it. I don't know. But yeah, that aunt, she's some serious. She's a real firecracker. I kind of like her character because when she come in, she let you know she in there. She gonna make her presence known. It is what it is. But she always be trying to put a little fire under Dana about the situation with him and his sister. He's already irate that August was left to be CEO. He didn't like that. So now he got to be not only deal with the fact that she's CEO, but he got to basically be under her beck and call, whatever she say go. But his position as the bookkeeper is still valid. So he's still over the money or per se, but he thought that he would go from the bookkeeper to the CEO. Because like he said, he got good ideas. His sister didn't really have no good ideas. But all the time, his sister had very good ideas, and most importantly, somebody thought that she was enough, had enough brain power to be CEO at that. But she said she has a lot of different things that she's planning on doing for the winery. She said she's gonna be starting rebranding. She's gonna start with the bottling, and most important, she's not gonna stray away from the recipe. Which is Brianna's glad to know that because Brianna, like I told y'all, she's in charge of actually the grapes and the harvesting of them. That's her specialty. That's why she's in a hurry to get back to work because that's what she likes to do. And like I told you guys, the mom was saying how she was in deep depression about it. I think it was about the job, and most important, the fact that her aunt is trying to single her out for something that she had no control over, if that makes sense. And it's a lot for her Aunt V to process because not only did he cheat, but now she realizing that her niece is not her niece, is actually her his illegitimate daughter. Like I said, that's a lot for somebody to process, and the thing they probably would have never figured it out if the man hadn't died. It is what it is, and the mom is to the point where she got to come to terms with a lot of things, and she's trying to process it. And like I said, it's a lot for anybody to process. You know what I'm saying? Because she's still to the point she probably still grieving. You got to understand that too. But yeah, the mom, I like her role in this actual episode because she's letting you know that she grieving, but she's gonna hold in the role if that makes sense. She's not gonna let y'all see her fold. Now, when she went off on that sister, I was like, OMG. And most importantly, I want to give her two snaps in the circle. I was like, yeah, that had to be said. And most importantly, you said it in the right way. And when she slammed the door in her face, I was like, OMG. When she slammed the door in her face, the sister realized that, hey, we ain't got nothing to talk about and you can leave. So, like I told y'all, she was speaking through the door, telling the niece that was a part of her agreement that she was supposed to hire her daughter back. Now, I think it's one of the things where the daughter's hands basically tied. She really wants to hire her sister back because I have to keep saying it. It's kind of hard for me to say, even though I know it. But technically, at first they was introduced as cousins. She wants to hire her back, but she know her mom is going to be dead set against it. That's the only reason the actual Brianna hadn't actually come full circle and came back into the actual winery. But I think it's one of the things where she want to do it, but she don't want to go against her mama at the same time because she know her mama don't play that. She already told her. She said she don't like the fact that nobody, especially her daughter, go against her. Now her sons, they all on board about what she say. She don't really have no problems with her. That she got the other son. He basically is the I said the black sheep of the family. Now he to the point where he's given a role and a position to play in the company. Now he don't take it serious, but it is what it is. I think now he's to the point where he's trying to figure out his self and most important to realize that he's in a position where he needs to grow up, if that makes sense. Because all he knew was to just spend money, and be the little, in other words, to spoil kids. But yeah, I like the fact that all the kids are playing their part. They're owning up to it, and most important, I like the fact that August is coming into her her womanhood, and most important, she's letting you know that she is CEO and she's running things, and I like that about her. She doesn't. The fact that her mom is having issues is affecting her, but she's not letting nobody know that. You know what I'm saying? Because she got a lot going on, especially since she came into this position basically overnight. But you would never know that she came into it overnight if you just pay attention to how she play her role. And I think the fact that she learning that Brianna is now her sister is really a good thing because they always was close anyway. But she don't like the fact that her mom still want to keep the rift between them because she's mad because she found out that actually her niece is not her niece, is actually the her sister's illegitimate child. But that's a lot for anybody to process, especially considering that not only did they cheat, but they created a kid. And most important, you got to see that kid. But I think the main thing about Brianna, she lost a lot of time, like she said. And most importantly, she didn't know her role when it came to August. She just knew they had a closeness, but she didn't understand why they had such a bond. Now she understands. But maybe one day they'll get to the point everybody can sit in the room and talk, and maybe Aunt Vanessa can actually start speaking to her sister again. But I don't know. She's very irate with her right now. I know what it is. She feels betrayed, and most important, she's like, of all people, my sister. But it is what it is. And I noticed when the sister met up with that aunt, they basically was kicking like they was old friends, like nothing had changed, nothing was wrong, none of that. And I said to myself, what? What they got going on? They got a secret alliance don't nobody know about. But yeah, you guys, The Kings of Napa is a great series. It's on. You won't be disappointed. If you're to the point you watch this particular thing, go and watch it. What inspired me to watch it, it was that it was not only about a black family, but it was an empowered black family that was basically, owning a winery. You don't see a whole lot of that when it comes to a African American family. And the fact that they're playing their roles, and most important, they're doing it in a positive way. So we're gonna rock with it. We're gonna see what episode 3 is giving. And most important, I will be giving you guys on episode 3. Just give me a chance. It'll probably be this time next week. So look out for that. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will keep coming back with another one. Have a great night, you guys.